Hello, beautiful people. It's your desert debutante here, hanging out in DC. So, obviously not in the desert. I am with my sister, hanging out for my summer break. And, whoops, sorry about that. I just got a really cool email, and I was so excited, I figured I would share. One of the perks about living abroad is all the travel that you do. And one of the things you hope to be able to do, but you might not do, is change tier status. So I'm one of the airlines that I fly like all the time. I just moved up a level and I'm super excited because it's little things like that that make you excited. So now I have a whole new collection of airport perks and fun discounts, and I get to earn even more miles so that hopefully I'll just keep my status for as long as I possibly can. I will admit that while I live out here, for the most part, so maybe 75% of the flights I take every year, I fly, oh, I'll not that. 85% of the flights that I fly a year, I probably fly economy. And that includes flying from Saudi Arabia back to the States. I know many of you are like, wow, that's a really long flight, and why would you do it? Uh, to be honest, I'm just cheap sometimes, and I'd rather spend the money when I get to where I'm going than on a nice receipt. I will admit that the more candles I add to my birthday cake and the more time I spend queuing in customs, especially in places in which are not the States, so I can't just waltz right through. Not that you really waltz right through in the US either, but it's a different line for people that live in a country versus people that do not live in said country. And since I do not live anywhere else other than the US, even when I'm in Saudi, I live in Saudi as a resident, but that gives me no perks at all. None at all in customs. So the nice thing about a business class ticket is that you can just waltz right past most people planning to get off the plane, and they have shorter queues for you. And the older I am, the more I realize that my time is worth more. So the amount of time I spend queuing, the amount of time I spend trying to adjust for jet lag because I couldn't sleep on the plane because it was uncomfortable or I was hot or what have you. Yeah, a lot of that can be mitigated by changing your seat on a flight. Uh, so I do. I make those changes. I'm sometimes. It's not all the time. Only when I know that I hit the ground and I have to hit the ground running. But yeah, having jet lag for 2 or 3 days, which is kind of what I'm pushing through right now, is a bit more difficult. I recognize that jet lag in general for me is driven a good portion by how much sunlight I'm encountering. So if I'm somewhere where it's really sunny and I have plenty of water and I can push myself to try and get close to being on the right schedule on day one, it takes me a lot less time. But like when I come home, and by home I mean I visit upstate New York in the winter where it's dark in the morning and dark at night, and your daytime hours are very short in the winter, that's a really hard adjustment, and I struggle. Yeah, I struggle a lot to make the adjustment when I'm there. So that's a different thing that I do. My way of combating jet lag really does involve copious amounts of sunlight and water. And so water I can pretty much do anywhere, but sunlight is not the easiest thing to control. I don't have access to it. It's not like I'm just going to, open up a hole in the sky when I'm hanging out in Paris and be like, I need more sunlight, please. Doesn't really work that way. But I figured I'd make this short video. Yeah, on average it's short. Just to say that I've moved up in plane status, which means I feel like I should take a trip to celebrate, which is probably not what I should be doing, but it's what I feel like I should be doing. So maybe I'll dream up a new destination of somewhere to go. There are plenty of other deserts and region that I have not seen yet, and I'm definitely dying to go to. Oh, and for all of you that happen to be in Najran, yeah, when things calm down, I promise I will come back. I had a great time. I continue to talk about how much fun I had in Najran. It was a beautiful experience that I hope to be able to relive. Maybe, just maybe, my family, looking at my sister right now, maybe they will come and join me And then maybe, just maybe, they'll be willing to take the trip to the south to see Najran so they can eat the great. I mean, for me, it's a trip about eating. And so they have to have the mendi made underground. And yeah, I guess we could fly. We can fly from Jeddah to Najran, I think. I really don't know. Yes, we can fly. And we could fly business class, but it may not be worth it in that case. It's a local trip, so no rushing in front of customs. It's only going to be on the plane for like an hour and a half. I mean, I could put my parents in business class because they deserve it, but the rest of us can hang out and coach. Okay, so I will talk with you guys soon-ish. For those of you that are still fasting, keep up the good work. I obviously am not fasting because it's the middle of the day. You saw my water bottle. I'm not in Kingdom, so I'm not fasting, and I will not be back before Ramadan is over this year, so I'm done. Did the first 14 days-ish. Yeah, it was an interesting experience. I will have a post wrap-up Ramadan video or something else. That's it. See yous. Bye.